in our panel today one of the leading commercial real estate brokers in the Philippines, Mr. David Lee Chiu, to talk to us about the money matters. You were saying that the time to invest is really now with real estate. We were talking about it earlier.
Yeah, so let's look at the Philippines in the last 20 years and what happened. So despite all that you see in the news about all that noise, political noise and economic noise, the reality is that per capita income in the Philippines have doubled in the last 20 years. And because of that, property prices have increased significantly in the last 12 years. Since the very first SMDC project up to today, in 12 years, those property values in SMDC, like Shore Residences, have gone up by as much as 3 to 4 times in that 12-year period. That's one of the highest returns anywhere in the world. What used to be only 1.5 million pesos per unit is now fetching 7 million per unit.
Wow.
What used to rent for 8,000 pesos a month is now renting for 24,000 pesos a month. Again, if you look at it in any metric, it will give you some of the highest yields anywhere in the world.
Wow. And I want to ask you, David and Jo Marie also, what about rental potential? Because a lot of my friends, they would buy condos and in the end they would have it rented for. Can you shed us some light about the rental potentials of this property?
I'll tell you now. Right now, Shore Residences, because this is phase 1 and which we've already fully sold out, turned over. We have phase 2, which is in the process of being turned over, and phase 3, which is still being sold. Now for phase 1 here where we are, where we have 4 towers, it's fully occupied. About 20% is owner occupied and 80% is rented out.
Wow, 80% rented out.
It's fully occupied, and actually part of the commercial area, there are a couple of real estate brokers who focus on just renting, because that's how big the demand is. So here in this area, it's very easy to rent out your units. This is actually a request that we got recently, asking for 120 units that they're looking for, but we can't provide it.
Wow.
Yeah, because there's just a big demand from people working in the area.
Yes, and I know of a lot of overseas Filipino workers who would buy units and then just have it rented out, and when they come back to the Philippines, that's when they'll occupy it.
Yeah.
We have a rental company, with actually SMDC Leasing, that actually complements the other outside rental property brokers that have their offices downstairs. You won't have any problem getting your tenants here.
Yeah. Speaking of that, there are many people watching around the world right now, and they're seeing just how Shore Residences is a great investment. So I also have a question for you, because Tim and I actually have foreign partners, and
Yes.
can foreigners invest?
Under the Philippine law, up to 40% of the available units can be purchased by foreigners. So that in our whole complex, phase 1, 2, and 3, about 20% are already bought by foreigners. So there's still another 20% that's
But they have to name it under their Filipino
Yes,
partner.
is that the case?
No, it can be. Oh yeah, okay.
Okay.
Well, if you're smart.
For our purpose.
Smart. But then they are allowed to buy properties here up to 40% of the available units, and we actually have a lot of foreigners that own units here, and they rent it out. During the turnover, because many of them can't come down here, we have this virtual turnover because everything's virtual now. So our people will show them their unit and do their punch list and so on. So we use technology to make it very easy for them to not only to buy, but also to accept the units.
And some people bulk buy it too, right?
Oh yes, many people buy bulk just to rent.
Yeah.
And of course, it's easy to pay because you have a lot of these online payment options that's available now.
Yeah. So I've been taking down mental notes from all the things that you guys have been saying. I'm curious, David, what are the factors that we should consider when buying property?
A big chunk of it is the developer's ability to deliver the product, because everyone can print a brochure, very nice brochures. And the question is, how quickly can they deliver the property, and how well can they deliver the property? And then once they turn it over, how quickly can they title the property? Because without the titles to your name, you won't be able to go to the bank to refinance it. And third would be, I would say, the property management. And then fourth would be the amenities. And again, I think if you look at the entire market, and you can do this fact checking yourself, but SMDC provides the best and the biggest amenities in the market, you know, per capita, per unit, and whatever other ratio you want to look at it.
Actually, everything that David said in the checklist, Shore Residences has it all. It's a sure thing.
It's a sure
It's a
thing.
sure
Exactly.
thing, right? So talking about investing, my friend Kit here has started investing. So I know you bought your first property. Tell us about the experience, Kit.
Experience of buying property. Well, first I had to figure out how much money am I willing to spend on a property, and where would this property be. So what I did was I decided to get a property that would be close to my job, because I'm actually from the province, Angeles City. So, you know, Manila is where I work. So I wanted to get something here. In terms of like how I acquired the property, I got the property through a bank loan.
Investing is
Yes.
what, yeah.
But in line with that, we make investing very easy in that we make it affordable. One priority that we have is to make sure that we match the monthly payment to the cash flow of our buyers. So we normally tell them to pay maybe 12 to 15% over about 30 months. No down payment, just a reservation fee of 25,000. And then you start paying maybe about 25, 30,000 a month. After about 30 months, the bank comes in. So if you notice, it's very affordable.
Yes.
It matches the cash flow of the
So
buyers.
it's zero interest.
Yes.
Zero interest.
So that's a service that you provide, extra service that you
Well,
provide.
it's our standard payment term. We also have payment terms where you pay 5% upfront. As a matter of fact, we have a promotion now up to the end of the year, where if you pay 5%, you get a 10% discount on the price. We try to make it affordable.
So what do you think of David's checklist?
Perfect. Everything's there. The developer's track record is important,
Yes.
of course, because you wouldn't want to have your investment right wasted because they don't finish the project.
And that's happened to a lot of people.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
As David pointed out, as I spoke about earlier, the amenities. You need to be happy living there.
Yes.
Yeah. So the amenities need to be generous, like this one. The lobby is very nice, and the property management is important. In the case of SMDC, we have our own property management company called Green Mist that manages all the developments that we've turned over, because we don't want to leave after we turn over the units to the buyers. We need to make sure that it's maintained the standards that we promised. So make sure that the grass is trimmed, the buildings are painted, the broken tiles are replaced, the lobbies are always clean, and the air conditioned strong. Even if it's 10 years old, it's still, we try to maintain it as if it was day one. So property management is very important.
Right.
If you look at two metrics, right? The first metric is how has the market priced the developer? And the developer is SMDC, owned by SM Prime. And SM Prime is the largest company in the Philippines by market cap. It is also trading at anywhere between 45 to 50 times PE, which in anywhere in the world is one of the highest stocks, most premium price stocks in the world at 50 times earnings. And then if you look at the asset, it's been appreciating 3x in just 10, 12 years. And that just shows you the how the market is taking these products. They wouldn't be priced like this if there were no buyers happily buying and continuing to buy their assets and their products. I'm always asked about this pandemic and how we should treat the pandemic and what's going on with the property market. I can share that the property market has been extremely resilient despite a 10% contraction in the economy and despite a contraction of as much as 30% in certain rental markets. Property values continue to hold, and as Jo Marie mentioned earlier, time will correct whatever mistakes you think you made in real estate. For as long as you're able to hold the long term, you will be rewarded handsomely. And if you look at the last 60 years, despite all the stuff that we've been through as a country, real estate has been the best holder of value and investment in the Philippines.
And that's during the pandemic.
Yeah.
The values have held up. The ADB just released a couple of days ago that they forecast Philippine growth to be at 4.5% this year. So there will be growth. So you don't want to miss the boat. You want to invest now. People are realizing that this pandemic is not going to be here forever. And when it starts, if the property values have held up strongly even during the pandemic. Expect what would happen after things have calmed down.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. And despite of the pandemic, it's still good to invest. So that's really our message to the people watching right now, is that we should still invest because times are going to be better. And imagine if right now it's like this, it's going to go up like that, right? Thank you again, David and Jo Marie, for answering our questions. You know, money really does matter in this day and age, and we all need to put and just really invest ourselves, and not just invest ourselves, invest wisely at that.
Thank you, and it was great to hear from you.